Hello everyone, and welcome back to Steins Gate 0. I'm G, and I don't remember where we are, so let's just get right back into this. Sorry to call you out here.
It's fine, I just happened to be nearby.
After seeing the icon missing on my phone, I'd contacted Maho immediately. My goal, of course, was to see what was going on with Amadeus in this world. I had to find out.
What do you want to talk about?
It's about Amadeus.
What?
Maho's eyes suddenly went wide. Her reaction surprised me as well. I'd simply said the word Amadeus.
How do you know?
What do you mean?
How do you know about Amadeus? That program was put on hold last summer after Kurisu's death.
Amadeus was put on hold? You mean the project itself was shut down?
Yeah, that's right.
She clenched her fists in anger. It seemed the change in this world line was a big one.
Now answer my question. How did you know about Amadeus?
Because... Should I tell her about the world lines and attractor field theory? Kurisu told me that someone at her lab was doing work on it.
Kurisu told you about that?
I decided that it wasn't the time to tell her. If I tried to explain everything, I'd have to tell her about D-mail and the time machine. Maho didn't seem to know all about that yet. I could imagine what she'd do if she heard the truth. She was yet another of those people who were entranced by the possibilities of science. Can you tell me a little more about how the project was shut down? What was the reason?
Evidently there was a complaint from an outside group. Creating an artificial intelligence with human memories is no different than making a copy of a human, they say. It's something that only God is allowed to do. A lot of people in Europe and America like to push their own values on others, especially in delicate matters like these.
Is that the only reason?
Yep, at least as far as I've heard. The professor and the rest of the team were really mad when they heard the research was being shut down.
The Amadeus program was stopped. Who do we have a message from?
Okabe, there's something I want you to tell me.
Didn't you ask your dad?
No, I can't ask Father.
You sure? I don't know if I know anything. He doesn't.
You're the only one I can ask. What gift do you think would make my father happy?
I think he'd like anything you gave him. Blah.
That's what everyone says. It's always the exact same answer. I'm honestly starting to wonder if you're all plotting behind my back.
Blah. That's because everyone respects you.
You too, Okabe?
Of course.
Yes. That makes me happy.
Danger.
Huh?
The Amadeus program was stopped. Did that have something to do with the world line change, too? Wait. How did I meet Maho? We'd originally met at the Amadeus seminar. That never happened.
What's wrong?
Oh, I was just remembering how we met.
Oh yeah, that was quite the coincidence, wasn't it?
I asked a few more questions, taking care not to rouse her suspicions, and managed to learn the basic story. Maho had really wanted to see the place where Kurisu had died. When she finally went to the radio building, she'd run into me.
I hate to say this, but because it sounds so unscientific, I'd like to think that it was karma, and that Kurisu brought the two of us together.
Karma, or perhaps another example of attractor field conversions. It had already been decided that Maho and I would meet here in Akihabara. But was there some meaning in that?
Alright, tell Mayuri and the others I said hi, and that last night was a lot of fun.
Sure. Evidently she'd gone to last night's party in this world line too.
It's given me some good memories of Japan.
Good memories? You're leaving?
Not immediately. Remember what I said? I'm taking over Kurisu's research. Can't stay on vacation in Japan forever.
I see. But still, she was only in Japan for another 10 days. I hope nothing would happen during that time. Something happened in that time! Amadeus had been shut down and no longer existed. No longer would I hear Kurisu's voice. After I said goodbye to Maho, what that meant really started to sink in. I could still feel Kurisu's warmth in my chest. Her smell. All the feelings I tried to forget were coming back, now that I'd seen her. No one will ever be happy in that world line. Everyone will be miserable. That's what she had said. I knew that. That's why I decided to stay here. That didn't mean I could erase the sense of loss that I felt. I went back to the lab to get all this together in my head. The cause of the attack in the last world line was Kaguri. There was a good chance that Amadeus was involved in the world line change that took place afterward. In this world line, the lab had never been attacked. And the Amadeus project had been cancelled while it was still in the research stage. That meant that the two major factors in the events that had occurred so far no longer existed. If they were gone, maybe there was no need to worry too much. But even so, there was still a tiny alarm going off in the back of my mind. Why had Amadeus been shut down? What happened to Kaguri's missing memories? If nothing else, I might need to learn all the answers to those two questions. I thought for a while, then took out my phone and booted up the Rhine application. Kaguri! Kaguri Shina felt happier and more fulfilled than the people around her thought she was. Her memories were missing. All she had now were memories of when she was young. She'd gone to the past when she was 10 and then gotten separated from Suzuha. Her memories afterwards were a total blank, with the exception of the last few weeks. Her oldest memories after her childhood were of the ceiling she saw when she woke up. It was the ceiling of an old temple with stains here and there that looked like faces. She remembered being a little scared. Shortly after that, she was given to Yanabayashi Shrine.
Kaguri, would you like some tea? Oh yeah, thanks, Luca. Okay, I'll put some on.
That was when she'd met Duka Urishibara. At the time, she hadn't realized that she already knew him. Duka Urishibara was a good friend of her adopted mother, Mayuri Shina. He played with her a lot when they were kids. When she was younger, she'd always thought he was a woman. To Kaguri's young eyes, he'd been a strong, grown-up woman. At the time, she'd always wondered why Suzuha had called him Big Brother Ruka.
Here you are. Thank you.
But the Ruka in front of her now was far younger than the one she had known. She looked like a very pretty girl. Not nearly as strong. Though she'd only realized that he was the Ruka Urishibara she knew after meeting her mother.
This tea tastes a little different.
It's rosemary tea. It's supposed to help you concentrate and improve your memory. I had Ferris give me some.
Improving your memory and finding lost memories seemed like totally different things to her, but she didn't say so. Just the thought made her very happy. Ruka, Mama Mayuri, and the rest of Okabe's friends were all trying to get her memories back. It would probably make most people nervous not having their memories. It would be hard not knowing what you'd experienced. But to be honest, Kaguri didn't think she needed to remember. Sometimes it seemed like a memory was about to come back. Each time her mind would roar with a sense of fear and anxiety.
Was it not very good?
Ruka saw that she'd only taken a sip and stopped, and he seemed worried.
Oh no, that's not true. It's good. I was just thinking.
Thinking?
Yep, and it's nothing.
She took a sip of the tea, hoping to change the subject.
Anyway, Ruka, are you really a boy?
Everyone else said he was. Still, it just didn't seem right to her.
I am, yeah.
You really look more like a girl, though.
I don't know what to say to that.
I know. Hey, why don't we take a bath tomorrow?
What?
I'll know if you're really a boy or not.
No, we can't.
Why not?
Because I can't take a bath with a girl.
Can you take baths with your sister?
Yes, but that's when I was little. Kaguri?
Sorry, it was a joke. You're so cute, I felt like I had to tease you.
Huh.
But if you responded that way, it means you really are a boy.
That's what I've been saying.
Even when he was upset, he still looked like a girl, she thought. As you can see, there are dozens of different dishes available, and they're all you can eat. The TV screen had been showing all kinds of delicious food.
Wow.
The sight of it almost moved her to tears.
His time is so wonderful. It's so different than the world I know. Is it? What's the future like? Do you want to know?
Duka looked a little uncertain. And even though she'd asked, Kaguri wasn't certain she should tell him. The future she knew was filled with despair. Everyone struggled desperately to stay alive, hoping that tomorrow would somehow be better. If they knew there was no hope, how would they survive?
I don't think I do.
Kaguri sighed in relief.
You're better off that way. The future can be changed. The future can be changed? Yeah, that's what Mom said. She said it could be changed. She said he'd change it. He'd change it.
That's what Mayuri had always told Kaguri. That was her tiny light of hope.
What was it? Steins... what? Steins Gate? Yes, that's it. Mommy said she knew it was real. I don't really know what it is.
Steins Gate. To be honest, Kaguri didn't know exactly what that meant. But each time Mayuri said it, Kaguri had felt warmth in her heart. Someone would come to lead them to Steins Gate. When she thought about that, it gave her hope. And now for our next report. Did you know that memory restoration technology is being studied around the globe? Today we have a special report on an American university that's at the cutting edge of this research. The news show had finished its food report and had already switched to another topic. Now it was showing a college campus covered in greenery. It was a wide open space that clearly wasn't Japanese. The second she saw it, she suddenly felt dizzy. This is Victor Condré University. It may seem like just another college campus, but there's a major project going on here right now. The discussion became more technical. It was far beyond what Kaguri, who had only her memories as a child, could understand.
But... should I change the channel? Oh, wait.
Kaguri stopped him before he could get to the remote.
Kaguri, do you understand this? Yeah, they're talking about how the brain works and whether you can make false memories. Wow, that's amazing. It was too complicated for me.
She suddenly found herself easily understanding what was being said. Why? How? How could she understand this?
Yeah, it's not that complicated. Memories are controlled by a part of the brain called the hippocampus. There's a special part of the hippocampus called the fascia dentata.
She was surprised at what she was saying, but the words kept coming anyway.
When new nerve cells are constructed there, they cause existing neurological pathways to reorganize. That's what makes you forget things. And so when the study team did experiments on mice, they saw false memories created. Look, that room in the back. That's where they do the mice experiments and stuff. Kaguri, are you familiar with this university? Huh?
She suddenly realized that Duka was looking confused.
I mean, you seem to know a lot about it.
The TV was showing something that looked like a lab. The camera went toward the back of the room. A white door was open that led to the next room. After seeing the results of the experiments on mice performed here, the research team...
No, you don't. Just now.
That's right. She wasn't familiar with it. She didn't know anything about any place like this. But...
I don't know. But... for some reason it suddenly feels like I do.
there was suddenly a piercing pain in the back of her head. It felt like the beginning of something terrifying. She suddenly felt very nervous. Listen, I'm not doing it because you asked me to. Just don't forget that. Thank you. This morning I'd gone to Tanoji and asked him to protect Kaguri if something happened. It meant I had to talk to him about his role as a rounder again. I had to tell him that Kaguri was caught up in something big, too. But since this was the second time I had that conversation, I was able to make it go a little smoother. That was the only relative to the first time, though. I never wanted to ask him for anything like this ever again. So, Okabe, what the hell are you people involved in? I stopped myself. Can't say, huh? You'll ask me for a favor, but you won't say anything.
I'm sorry.
That's good, though.
What?
Information is your final trump card. If you had just come out and told me, I would have called this whole thing off. Anyway, just be careful.
Thank you, sir.
I get it. Don't be so polite. It makes it so damn hard to deal with you.
I bowed to him once more anyway, and left the brown workshop. I'd managed to get Tanoji's help, and this morning I got another person on my side as well. Maoka Kiryu. She was a lot easier than Tanoji. I checked with Daru last night and found that just like in the old world line, we'd hired her to find out more about Kagari. All I had to do was ask her to keep looking into what Kagari had been doing before she'd come to this town. Now I'd done everything I could in case something happened. All that was left was to pray that nothing did. I got back to the lab, where Rukako was waiting. He had a very serious look on his face, and he said he needed to talk to me. There's something bothering me about Kagari's memories.
Kagari's memories?
Yeah, I don't know if it will help bring them back. It's fine. If something's bothering you, just tell me. Okay. Iruka started to fidget and rub his knees together. Then he looked up at me and slowly opened his mouth. Last night, they were doing a special memory research on TV. It was about an American university. When Kagari saw it, she acted like she recognized the school.
An American college? Which one?
It had a really complicated name. I think it was Victor Condor?
Victor Condor University?
Oh, that's right. That's the place.
Victor University. That was where Kurisu had studied. Kagari knew Victorchondria? If that was true, then how? The most obvious possibility was that she went there too. How would a kid who went missing in Japan go to an American school? One of the best at that. Of course, it wasn't impossible, but...
What do you think? Is this a clue?
Can't say anything just based off of that, but...
I see.
Yuko's shoulders slumped in disappointment. That doesn't mean it's not a clue.
What? Then...
Yeah, it's worth checking out.
What do you want to talk to me about?
Best way to find out was to talk to her directly. Kagari was just about to start work, and she seemed put off by the fact that I'd suddenly asked to speak to her. Can you wait just a second? I've asked another person to join us.
Another person?
I didn't know a lot about Victorchondria myself. I could ask Kagari what she knew about the school, but I couldn't tell if her information was accurate or not. There was a better person she could ask. Someone who should be here any minute.
Excuse me.
Best way to find out about the school was to ask someone who actually went there. In fact, Maho was to this day a part of their brain science lab.
Oh, Maho, hello. Hi, how have you been?
Maho still didn't know that Kagari was from the future. I'd have to keep her from finding out.
You know, he really does look like Kurisu.
Maho stared at Kagari and whispered so that only I could hear. It made sense. I've been surprised myself. I started by explaining to Maho why I'd brought her here.
So what? Think she might have gone to my school? Wait a second. I don't know anything about this Victor Condor what's-its place. Victorchondria University. See? I don't even remember the name.
But yesterday you acted like you recognized it, right, Rukako?
Yeah. You said they did mice experiments in the back room. And after that, they actually showed the experiments in that room.
Do you remember that, Kagari?
I don't.
I couldn't imagine Rukako would lie, or that there would be any point to him doing so. But the same was true for Kagari, too.
Urishibara, do you remember where that lab was?
I don't know the details, but they said they were doing research on memories in the brain.
Which means it might have been the brain science lab?
Brain science lab. That was where...
That's where I work.
And also where Kurisu worked, too. Then, Kaguri may have met you in Kurisu.
It's just a possibility. There's more than one place that researches brain science. And it's not just grad students where I work. There are a lot of regular scientists too. Even I haven't met everyone at the lab. But if I saw another Japanese person there, I'm sure I'd remember that.
Which meant she didn't remember it. Which meant she probably hadn't met her. Rukako, was there anything else about Kaguri that you've noticed?
Kaguri sometimes knows about things that are really complicated. Hey, I know some complicated things.
Kaguri pouted. That was one expression that was totally different than Kurisu's.
For example?
Roses and depression? Those were just words that were too complicated to write in Japanese.
They were doing a special on fake memories last night, and you seemed like you knew a lot about it. Fake memories, huh? Yeah, one of the teams is working on that. We went and talked to them one time.
Kaguri, can you talk about that now?
I don't really know. Did I really talk about that stuff? You did.
She put her hand between her eyebrows and thought. Really didn't remember, it seemed. Has this happened a lot before?
Not that much until recently. It suddenly started happening over the last few days.
I didn't know how Kaguri could know things about Victochondria. But it clearly had something to do with her missing memories. If I followed the trail a little longer, I might learn some clues. It was possible I might be able to bring back her memories. Suddenly she started to moan in pain.
Kaguri, what's wrong? My head, kind of... It hurts?
Rukako was looking at her face, worried.
Yeah, just a bit.
Want to lie down a little?
I'm fine.
Maybe this is all too sudden.
That's right, we may have put too much stress on her.
Maho was looking worried too.
Are you really okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, Senpai. I hope so.
The conversation was so natural that Maho and I almost missed it. Hey, did she just...
Yeah, she called me Senpai.
Huh? Kaguri, you just called Hyajo Senpai, right?
No way, I didn't. No, you definitely did. Urishibara, you heard it too, right? Yes.
Senpai, a Japanese word used to address an older classmate or colleague. I just learned that Maho and Kaguri hadn't met at Victochondria. That mean that it was just a mistake? The sound of footsteps coming up the stairs distracted me. They were so heavy, there was no need to wonder who it was. Hey.
Hello.
Oh, you here, Maho-tan?
Don't call me that.
Do I have enough? 1, 2, 3. He ignored Maho's complaint and started to count the number of people in the room. There was some kind of paper bag in his hands. Okay, I've got enough. Enough what? You know how they opened a new atoll in front of the station? They were selling some good-looking pudding. I thought it might be a nice treat, so I bought enough for everybody. Brought enough for everybody. He put down the bag, opened the box, and started putting the pudding cups on the table. Saru, do it later. Why do you all look so upset? Is it that rare for me to buy something for everybody? Well, I guess it is. I got some extra work at my job, you see. Not only am I talented, I'm also kind-hearted and I get paid. Feel free to fall in love, ladies. Huh? He turned the bag over and started shaking it. I'm missing a spoon. I bet the staff there forgot to put one in.
I think there's a clean spoon in the sink. Oh, I've got my own spoon I always use.
Ryuko stood up to get a spoon from the sink, then suddenly stopped. He looked at Kaguri with a confused expression.
Kaguri, do you own a spoon? Huh? I thought all you had with you was the Upa keychain, right? Huh? That's right, isn't it? That's strange. Why'd I say I had one?
Her own spoon. I'd heard someone say that before. Not many people carried their own spoons around. It was common in Japan to carry around your own personal set of chopsticks lately, but not spoons. But I knew. I had known someone who carried around her own spoon. It was Kuritsumaki-se. Just a moment ago, she'd called Maho senpai. Kaguri no Kurisu after all. Hey Hyajo, how many people call you senpai in America?
It's one. It's a Japanese word and a Japanese concept after all.
There was no need to even ask who it was.
The only one who called me senpai was Kurisu. Kurisu?
Kaguri, do you know a girl named Kuritsumaki-se?
Kuritsumaki-se.
Did she know her? And was she imitating her? Why would she need to do that?
Kuritsumaki-se.
Kaguri seemed to be desperately searching her memories, but it didn't seem to be working. There was sweat on her forehead. Her headache might still be bothering her. Don't force yourself. There's no need to remember immediately.
No, it feels creepy leaving it like this. Feel like you can remember something? I don't know. Try saying something, Ocarine.
Huh? What's going on here? The fact that Kaguri responded this strongly to Kurisu's name meant there had to be some relationship. What could there possibly be? The question was this. What had Kaguri been doing ever since she separated from Suzuha in 1998? If she never met Maho, did she ever meet Kurisu? Maybe she became friends with Kurisu and learned a lot about her, and she'd gotten Kurisu's stories mixed up with her own memories. Or, I remembered the machine that Kurisu had developed in the Alpha World line and came up with a certain hypothesis. I quickly told myself that it was impossible. My eyes met Maho's. She nodded. Okay, Kaguri, let me ask you some questions. For now, I wanted to learn how much Kaguri knew about Kurisu. Where is your father?
Daddy died when I was a kid.
If her memories were mixed with Kurisu's, she wouldn't say that. Those were Kaguri's memories. She said she remembered everything from before she was 10 years old. She'd only lost her memories after she'd separated from Suzuha in 1998. I'd have to go a little deeper. Then what does the word Kurigohan mean to you?
Gohan? What are you talking about?
Answer me please, Kaguri.
Gohan. Kamehameha.
Everyone else seemed confused. But I felt as if my heart was about to stop. How could she know? Kurigohan and Kamehameha was Kurisu's @channel handle. Not only did she keep that a secret, she almost never let anyone know that she posted on an @channel. Never would have told anyone. How could Kaguri know something that only Kurisu should know? More sweat was pouring down Kaguri's forehead. Yuka offered her a handkerchief, worried. Kaguri nodded and took it. Kaguri, can you tell me how many major theories of time travel there are? Maho looked like she wanted to say something, but I motioned for her to stay quiet.
11.
Kaguri spoke clearly, as if the answer was the most obvious thing in the world.
11 in total. Wait, is that right?
I hadn't expected much when I'd asked the question. Certainly hadn't expected that. The terrifying possibility I'd thought of earlier was becoming more and more real. It was impossible. It had to be. The more I tried to convince myself, the more my fears grew. Can you tell me what these 11 theories are?
Neutron star theory, then black hole theory, light speed theory, tachyon theory, wormhole theory, exotic matter theory.
Kaguri was counting with her fingers and speaking with very little hesitation.
Cosmic string theory, quantum gravity theory, cesium laser theory, elementary particle ring and laser theory, and lastly, Dirac antiparticle theory. Those are all correct.
Maho's voice was hoarse.
Tell me, Okabe, how do I know all this?
Kaguri looked like she was about to cry a little. Can I ask you one more thing? Could you use those theories to build a time machine?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Oh, but even if you couldn't use these 11 theories, science may invent a new theory that works someday.
Why do you think so?
Why? That's because... I don't know.
Let me ask another question. How did you arrive at that conclusion?
I don't know. Just somehow I knew.
She knew, huh? That meant the knowledge existed inside of her. Why did she have that knowledge? She'd been to Victorchondria at some time in the past and met Kurisu there. Maybe they were close friends. So close that Kurisu would share her @channel nickname, which she never told anyone. And then perhaps she mistook what she'd heard from Kurisu from her own memories. That was the most obvious possibility. But that would go against what Kurisu had said. Kurisu said she didn't really have any close friends in America. She seemed to have developed a solid relationship with Maho at work, but the dark fear in my mind kept growing. Hey Hyajo, remember how you said Amadeus was put on hold? Does the upload memory data for Kurisu still exist?
Huh? Yeah, probably. I don't think it was erased.
How many people could access that?
Very few. We never really announced it anywhere. Myself, Dr. Leskinen, a few of the other assistants, and then Kurisu.
Another question. Would it be possible to transfer that memory data to a human brain?
Huh?
In the other world line, Maho herself, or Dr. Leskinen to be precise, had said something about that at the ATF seminar. I had experienced it myself. Through a machine that digitized human memories, sent them through time, and then back to the same person's brain. It didn't exist in this world line, but it once lived in a world line where it was developed in this very room. I'd used it far more times than I had ever wanted to. And because of that experience, I came up with an idea. A terrifying idea. Another way to explain what was happening to Kaguri now.
What are you getting at?
Kurisu was the one who had her own personal spoon. She was the only one who called you senpai at school. Kurigohan and Kamehameha was Kurisu's handle on that channel. I'm the only one who knew about it besides her. Kurisu would know about the lab at Victorchondria. She would know about the mouse experiments. She would know about the 11 theories of time travel.
Ocarine? What do you mean? What are you trying to say?
This is my idea. I looked around the room at everyone in the back of Kaguri. Kaguri, it's possible that you may have Kurisumakise's memories inside you. Oh boy. Well, that's certainly a situation. I didn't really expect that, but I dig it. This is really some territory that the anime really didn't tread, which I'm very excited about because I love seeing the new stuff. But yeah, for now, I think this is a pretty good place to cut it. So we will continue along this situation next time. But for now, thank you all so much for following my playthrough of Steins Gate Zero, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye now.